Gentlemen, Dicko Mole, round 27 last week of the season. Lads, before we get into the preview for round 27, how about the Raiders? Minor Premiership. Uh, Look, best team of the year. Simple as that. The ladder doesn't lie. What are your
Yeah, and
thoughts,
I'm
Molly?
I'm pretty sure I tipped them for the wooden spoon. And I don't think I'm the only one.
So did I.
No, a lot of them
I'm
did.
pretty sure I had them bottom four.
Yeah.
I think we've got them on our socials, the Knights. So we're still in the hunt there for the Knights to get the spoon, but we'll touch on that soon. Massive achievement by the Raiders, isn't it? The most travel out of every team in the comp. That was highlighted really early in the season. And the team that's got the most travel has won the minor premiership with, I think, the second least experienced roster.
Mm. Yeah, and I was in Vegas, which now seems an age ago, and the performance they put on against the Warriors, they just absolutely smashed them. And I certainly didn't think then that this was a minor premiership team, but I thought, well, maybe I was a bit rash putting them for the wooden spoon because they were up for that. And I think in coming years we'll see you win in Vegas, it's a real good springboard for the start of the comp, and you lose in Vegas, and it's not a good sign. It's a long road trip home. So we'll just keep an eye on that in the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, Ricky's come out and said the platform was laid in pre-season, essentially. They knew they were, if not the fittest, one of the fittest teams in the comp. I know Penrith have prided themselves heavily on being, if not the fittest, one of the fittest teams in the comp. You see some other teams and you can just tell that their team's not fit. Do you think that coaches should focus more on that now rather than the actual gameplay?
I think all teams are fit. Like it's
But
very
some are
selective.
fitter than others. I mean, I know for a fact that Bellamy just flogs them, and that's one of the secrets of his success. They work longer hours than other teams. He doesn't accept mediocrity, and the results over 600 games don't lie.
Can they maybe tell Sean Bloor to involve himself in some of those fitness drills?
Yeah, he's probably there, mate.
Yeah, at the back.
Yeah,
That's where he is, at the back.
Hiding at the back.
Now, bit of rumour circulating, Kalen Ponga leaving the Knights. I tell you what, that would be a huge blow to the Knights. But look, it's something that, look, if I'm sitting back as a neutral fan.
Can you blame him?
Oh, well, I think
he's on good money, isn't he?
Both parties, it's a good idea.
Yeah. But he is on good money, and his mother and father are employed by the club. I don't know too many clubs that
Are they?
Yeah, and I believe they've resigned. Is that right?
Well, I'm hearing they will resign, yeah, and that sort of has set the rumor mill going that something is doing there. We'll have to wait and see because his dad's a little bit eccentric, Andre, and he has a little bit too much say at the Knights. I know there's a lot of people at the Knights who think he holds too much sway over the coach, over the team, over the chief exec. Some people call him the most powerful man in Newcastle. So, I don't think it's a healthy situation when a player's father can have such a big say in how a club is run and also be on the payroll. So it's a mess of the Knights' own making. It's really a situation where they've got themselves into this, and you look at the season they've had, it's been a disaster. And interesting, when I put something up on social media the other day, a lot of Knights fans said, don't slam the door on your way out. So, he's sort of lost the fans as well.
Yeah, well, he's the captain of the club too, isn't he? I don't think he set the best example.
Well, it's an ordinary situation for the new coach coming in, isn't it, really? I mean, your best player could be leaving, and then you got a bloke coming in on 10 years at 12 million. So not ideal, I wouldn't have thought. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I think the competition's healthier for a good Knights team, not a team languishing down the bottom. But no, it's interesting times ahead for them for sure.
Yeah, and I feel for the fans. Like they turn up every week. You know, the house full sign goes up just about every time. Even though the first half, I think 9 games at home, which is unbelievable. They haven't scored a point in the first half, haven't looked like scoring a point in the first half, and haven't done much better in the second half. So it's really been an underwhelming season. To me, they're the deserved wooden spooners. I know we're going to get to that later, but you know, to me, they've done most to deserve it.
Yeah, look, speaking of their attack, they're on the prowl for a new coach, obviously. AOB is leaving the club, parting ways there. Look, that was a long time coming. We sort of had inside word that was always going to be the case. Anyone sticking out? I know Moley, Blake Green is apparently still in the mix, but he's the attack coach, so that doesn't say much for maybe hiring him.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? But then he is managed by Isaac Moses, who also manages Adam O'Brien. So we know the pulling power and the sway that Moses has got. But the name I'm hearing is Justin Holbrook, and he's got my vote. I think he's the best man for the job. I thought he had the Titans at a difficult time. That good results in England. He's been working in the Roosters system, and we've seen how efficient the Roosters are. The Roosters are reluctant to let him go, but recognise it's a great opportunity for him. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get it. Actually,
yeah. I've certainly got Holbrook's back there. I hope he gets the job. I think he's the right person for the job.
They can't give it to Blake Green, surely.
Look, if they overlook Holbrook and give it to Green with their new panel of 5 people,
They can't.
I'd question the caliber of those 5 people making that decision.
Like, seriously. Blake Green's played with most of them, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Look, stranger things have happened.
You need someone fresh, someone that not involved. There's no scars there. I think you need someone.
I honestly wouldn't mind seeing Dizzy go there.
Oh, Dez.
I would actually like to see Desi go there.
Mate, Desi will be on a beach in Bali.
Do you reckon he's past it? Genuine question. Do you reckon he's past it?
Yes, and I've known Desi for 40 years, and I think he's just too eccentric. I mean, it's been a disaster. The time
too old school.
Yeah, and just too weird. He's he's a very strange man. You saw that exchange, I'm sure, with a journalist from the Mail the other day, who I thought went a little bit over the top, but Des didn't handle it all that well either. So it was just bizarre.
So when you say that, do you feel like he hasn't allowed himself to adapt to the new game? Like we've seen Michael Maguire. Let's just use him, adapt his coaching style to a different playing group than what he had at the Tigers and then the Rabbitohs before that. Like
Wayne Bennett's done it a few times.
Has Des not adapted enough? Would you say? Like is he that old school? It's either you do it this way or you just don't do it at all type of thing.
Yeah, he's just a very different character. Des. He's eccentric. He's old school, and I don't think he's quite moved with the times.
I've heard he likes to be in control of every department as well, which is impossible these days.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a case of doing all roles 50% as opposed to the main role not at 100.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it feels like it's definitely a bit of my way or the highway type sort of situation with him.
Yeah.
From me looking in anyway.
Yeah. And I look at that Titans team and I like their roster. I reckon they're not a bad team, but they just don't produce. They certainly can't play for 80 minutes. We talk about fitness and, Des was one of the fittest players of his day. So, but then he wouldn't be running the fitness program.
Well,
he'd have guys to do that. But yeah, they've let some big leads slip. And alternatively, they've been way behind and come back. But 80 minutes is just beyond them. And,
I think Josh Hannay is a great appointment.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. He's coached at Origin level. He's been an assistant at several clubs. He was the next coach in waiting, and good luck to him. It's going to be a tough job because the culture up there is definitely not what it should be, and that's, to be fair to Des, something he's at the battle too, as has Justin Holbrook and all the other, Garth Brennan, all the other ex-Titans coaches who've been shown the door. So,
well, Phil Sami, RCG, and Brian Kelly have been told that they can go, which, yeah, I'm actually all for that. I've known about RCG and his antics for a long time. It's one of the reasons Penrith got rid of him. It's the exact reason that the Eels got rid of him. It's all for him. He doesn't care about the culture, the club, getting involved in the team. It's all about the money. He was on like 800,000 at the Eels, which is just crazy.
Well,
I think he's
I'll
on
tell you a little
600 or
story
something at
about
Titans.
RCG that might go to show the sort of character he is. The last time I spoke to him, he hung up in my ear.
Did he? Not happy with you?
Yeah, yes.
What'd you say to him, Molly?
I was just asking him questions about his injury. This was 2-3 years ago. I can't even remember what it was, but how he was handling coming back from his injury, and it was an angle, and I could tell he wasn't all that comfortable with it. But all he had to do was say, "Listen, can we talk about something else? Can we move on?" But all I heard was clunk, and I rang back because I thought, maybe I got cut off. But the media managers said to me, I think he just hung up on me. And I could tell he was shrugging his shoulders. He said, "That's just Regan." So,
yeah, right. Okay. Interesting cat, that bloke.
Yeah. Josh Henne is actually trying to keep Khan Pereira as well, who's a little bit out of favour with Dez. I honestly thought he's probably the upcoming winger in the comp, or one of them.
The fact that he is not playing on the wing and Phil Sami is, I think, it's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, he scores tries. That's the bottom line.
Well, that's going to change.
Yeah.
By the sounds of it. So Scotty Sattler's obviously, along with Josh Henne, he's already got some ideas.
Well, further to what Molly said, if you look at the bottom four teams, the Titans, the Knights, the Dragons, and the Cowboys, you'd probably say the Titans have got the best roster, if not equal the best roster, with maybe one other of those four teams in terms of players and potential on that roster. So there's really no excuse for them to be coming last.
Yeah.
So clearly
consistently down the bottom of the ladder.
That's right.
And a lot of games they're actually in it for a long period of time. And they've been like that for a while. And as you said, Molly, Holbrook sort of turned a corner for them briefly. I think he actually got sacked after a win.
And they made the top 8 the year before, I think. Or didn't they? Or ninth spot. Yeah, they were sitting in 9th or 8th spot. Yeah.
And I think they did. They made the finals the year before. So, bizarre. But anyway, let's hope for better things for the Titans next season. Now, shall we get stuck in? Let's just briefly touch on the Reece Walsh recovery.
The Reece Walsh recovery.
Yeah. Look, it must be the reason why he's playing so well. Look, it was supposed to be a laugh, and maybe wrong platform to be sort of talking about.
I mean, he's hardly, I know Mole.
He hasn't done anything wrong.
He's hardly done anything wrong. I mean, seriously.
It's just dumb. That's all you can say. It's just dumb. Yeah. But the thing that concerns me about, I don't think some people, particularly in Sydney, realise, I mean, he is the number one player in the eyes of the teeny boppers. He's he was what Russell Fairfax was in the 70s. There's young girls out there who
he's got the most followers out of every player.
Yeah. Now, these young girls, thousands of them would have seen that. Very few of them, I reckon, would have seen the Broncos put out the thing of, it was a bad joke, ignore it. So I'm thinking some of these girls might just be silly enough to believe what they saw and think, works for Reece, I'll give it a try. I mean, they adore him. He's beloved by these girls. He's like a rock star. And it just takes one stupid girl.
He is the Elvis Presley of the NRL.
Yeah, without question. So perhaps he just shouldn't be doing this sort of thing. And you think by now he'd be old enough and wise enough to realise that. I
Nah,
mean,
he's not. He's done a few things now. He's
yeah,
obviously.
we all like a joke and a laugh, but it's just too bizarre. It's just typical NRL, isn't it? I mean, some of the things that happen in our game, I don't think this happens in rugby union, or doubt if it happens in AFL.
The fact that
well,
the
in,
fact
in
that it
the
led
NFL.
well, the fact that it led Channel 9's news report in Brisbane last night and this morning, I think is pretty pathetic, really. Like
There's not much
it's
going
just
on in Brizzy
clickbait.
today.
Oh,
Yeah.
seriously. And for anyone listening, there is no scientific evidence to suggest that drinking toilet water would aid in muscle recovery. So the
If
only thing
anything,
you're going to get from drinking toilet water is probably a prolonged time spending on the toilet afterwards.
Yes.
All right, so steer clear.
Well, maybe it was a
Well,
losing weight strategy. Who knows?
He's cutting, you reckon?
Yeah, maybe he's trying to trim down for finals. Speaking of Broncos, let's get into it. Broncos versus the Storm, Thursday night footy. Now, there's a bit of, conjecture here on our panel of whether the Storm are going to rest players. Are they not? Obviously, the Broncos have a lot to play for. The Storm, however, in my opinion, do not. They've sewn up second spot. Well, they're
second.
90 points.
They're going to be second. They're going to be second.
They should finish second. One would think that maybe even the Bulldogs will rest players, to be honest with you. They're playing the Sharks. There's no need for them to – they can't go to second. They can't drop down to fourth. So it's a prime chance for them to rest. But we'll soon find out in a few hours' time. But let's say they name full-strength sides or close enough too. What are our thoughts on this game, gents?
Well, Frank Panisi was on radio here in Brisbane this morning with SENQ, and he alluded to maybe one or two might be rested from Melbourne. I dare say if they didn't get belted 40-0 in the second half last week, you would probably find 6, 7 or 8 of them rested.
I think Hughes is playing.
Jerome Hughes will play.
He wants to run before the finals, which makes sense.
Yeah. So, but apart from that, I'd expect maybe some guys that are carrying niggles. Cameron Munster, I don't think will be rested because I know he despises being rested. I think if anyone, it'll be Pappenhausen maybe, and maybe one of the other wingers that hasn't had a rest, or some of the other ones that have, maybe one of the Josh King maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Harry Grant will be out, of course.
Yeah, so he's out until the first week of the finals. But yeah, it's my team, but I give Brisbane little to no chance of beating Melbourne on Thursday night. They've lost 18 of 20, and I think Maguire's he's 13 of the last 14 times he's coached against Bellamy, he's lost. So statistics, you might feel differently. I don't think Brisbane played all that well last week.
I honestly think it's going to come down to personnel. If I'm the Storm, I guess you can look at it two ways, but if I'm the Storm, I'm thinking, do I play my full strength side of what's available to try and build some momentum for finals?
Well, my answer to that is they're not going to want to go into the finals on the back of 2 losses, particularly as Dicko said, that 40-0 second half last week. I mean, Bellamy was filthy in 600th game. You can imagine what he's going to do with that mounted ball. He's probably already smashed it and kicked it into the canal. Do they have canals in Melbourne? I don't know.
Yeah, the river.
But it won't be on his mantelpiece. You can bet that. I mean, it's the worst performance in his 600 games. And Marky Mark is the first player from a visiting team to score 4 tries against him with that ball. So he's not going to want it on his mantelpiece.
My personal opinion is, and again, this might be a biased opinion, but it's a high risk, 0 reward game if he plays their full strength team. Okay, because you think about it now with concussion rules and everything, Cam Munster gets a knock, Jerome Hughes gets a knock.
Look at Kiraz last week.
Kiraz, for instance, he done his ankle, but in the world that we're in today, which is why I personally believe we need to bring a buy-in pre-grand final, because you can't have guys missing grand finals that have had a head knock in a prelim final. I don't like that at all. Well,
that's why the AFL did it. They brought a buy-in after finals to basically freshen everyone up so no one would rest.
Yeah, so for the Storm, if I'm a Storm supporter, I want none of my top guns playing. Like if Brisbane were in this situation that Melbourne are in, which they were in 23, if you remember, the Broncos played the Storm the last round in that year as well, and it was basically two Q Cup sides playing each other. Both teams rested basically their full team. That would be what I, as a supporter of the Storm, if I would be hoping that he doesn't play any of my top guns, because you don't want to. All it takes is a head knock or a going in for a low tackle and you cop a knee or an elbow, and then you miss a qualifying final against the Dogs, potentially go to a prelim. So I just think it's a high risk, sort of zero reward if he plays all of them.
Well, I'd maybe even start Jerome Hughes, give him the first half, come off, son. On goes Jonah Pezzett or Wishart.
That's a good
Or
idea.
you start him
Game
on the
off.
bench.
Or
Or you
start
just
him on the
start him on the
bench.
bench and you give him 20 minutes at the back end of the game, regardless of the situation. He makes a few tackles. Gets him a bit of confidence in the shoulder. He runs around a little bit, blows out some cobwebs, and then see you later. See you next week, boys.
But I go back to what I said before. They get beaten and they don't play their top team against Brisbane. There's every they will.
Do you think that, see, like what Dicko said, like if they put their full team out on paper and get beat, I think that's a worst case scenario. Or even if they just lose, I think that's worse than. If I'm the Storm, I'm going undermanned, leaving everything for week 1 finals.
Well, for the purpose of our preview, let's just assume they're going to play a full strength team here, and let's base our tips.
Yeah,
because we don't know yet. We're recording this pre-team list.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, or what do you think of the game? Who do you think can win?
Where's it at?
It's at Suncorp.
Suncorp, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty even money, isn't it? With, the uncertainty about how long these guys are going to play, if they play. Full strength, I still don't mind Brisbane at home, but Bellamy's got a bounce back factor of, 90%. I think it's even higher. He loses, the next week they always win. He obviously gets them in a room, gives them hell, and then flogs them on the training paddock. So, be interesting to see.
It's a short turnaround too for the Broncos. They played Saturday night in Townsville, and Adam Reynolds, I believe, won't play, but he's very close. Very close. Yeah, the news said he ran very well yesterday, so I hope they don't play him. I don't think there's any reason to risk him. And the other thing, this doesn't affect this game, but does affect Ezra Mam and Selwyn Cobbo are both about a week or two ahead of schedule in terms of their recovery. So if the Brisbane run deep, there's potential that they can come back into the fold too. I'd be surprised. I'd be interested to see what happens then if they go deep. But in terms of this game, I mean, I've gone to 1,000 of these games at home for the Broncos, and they've always disappointed me. I don't think, as I said before, that Melbourne just go to another level at home. I don't think Brisbane were great last week. But their final series starts, unlike Melbourne's final series doesn't start till next week. Right? Broncos' final series starts Thursday night. They win, they're top 4. Simple as that. Right? They've got a far superior points differential than the Sharks. So regardless of what happens in the Sharks game, Brisbane take care of business on Thursday night. They finish 4th. Potentially then you give yourself one win till you're in a prelim final. So all to play for the Broncos, and as I said, high risk, zero reward for the Storm. So mentality maybe plays a part, but as Molly's alluded to, and we know the bounce back factor of the Storm, anytime they lose a game is what, over 90% or something. So you can be sure whichever Storm team runs out, they're going to be tough to beat. For that, I'm going to tip the Storm.
What do you reckon, Molly?
Yeah, I'll go Storm.
All right, I'm going Broncos with confidence.
Oh, here we go.
Lots of confidence.
Here we go.
I think the Broncos will win. If they're real deal, just remember, guys, without laughing, I came off a perfect round last week. So,
oh, well done. Well played. About time you come to the party.
No one has anything to say against me this week.
It's about time you come to the party.
No, honestly, I think the Broncos, regardless of whether Storm play at full strength, I think there's more to play for the Broncos. And they're at home. No one would have given them a chance of finishing in the top 4, not even themselves. And they find themselves with a great opportunity to get a second chance. And if they don't take it, I would just basically, there's no chance of them winning the comp. Simple as that.
I agree with that.
That's how I look at it. All right, Sea Eagles versus the Warriors. Look,
This
I've
is
been saying this for weeks. The Warriors are shit. I'm
This
just
is
going to call a
DCE's
spade a
last
spade.
game, isn't it? This
The
is
Warriors-
last game at home.
Yep, last game. Joey Walsh might be making his debut as well in a sort of send off at some point to DCE so they can clap him off. Also, Joey Walsh makes his debut at the same time, which is just to serve. But let's see what happens there. I can't see anything but Manly winning this game. Warriors have been poor for weeks. Yes, they've had a few injuries, but they've been poor pretty much since round 20. They beat the Knights when they shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
They lost to the Titans. They lost to the Dolphins. They lost to the Dogs. They beat the Dragons when they shouldn't have. They beat the Titans, who were, average at best, and then they lost again to the Eels. They've limped their way into finals here.
Their problem is that they don't have a halfback, and at this stage of the year, with Luke Metcalf gone for the season, Tanner Boyd to me just isn't up to it. I can't believe he.
I think their forwards have been
picked
pretty
every
poor
week.
as well. Jackson Ford's obviously Mitch Barnett did his injury, but I think James Fisher-Harris hasn't been that good this season.
No, he hasn't been as effective as I thought he would be.
But yeah, look, I'd be shocked if Manly don't come out and win this for the sake of DCE and their slim finals chances.
Yeah. The interesting thing about DCE too, I've been thinking all year, and I've said it a few times, he's played 1 year too long. Next year it'll be 2 years too long. The last 2 games he's had 8 try assists. He's been on fire.
Yeah, he's been unreal.
Yeah,
and Turbo for that matter as well.
Yeah, they're both finishing the year well. So the way those two are playing, you got to tip Manly.
Dicko, Manly?
Yeah, Manly at home. Just the DCE factor for me. They lifted for his, what was it, 350th? And I think they'll do that again. I feel like they found a little bit of form, the Seagulls of late, and the Warriors just, as Molly said, there's no identity because they don't have a halfback. So for me, the Seagulls will be too strong at home, I think.
Now,
disappointing time slot, that one, actually, for the DCE last home game. You'd expect, I don't know what the commute's like to get to the Northern Beaches at 6 p.m. on a Friday night from anywhere else in Sydney.
Very difficult. Even from 5 minutes away, it's difficult.
I would have liked to have seen that at a better, more appropriate slot. Obviously, the NRL. And it's one thing I think the NRL, and I know we're going down a sort of another path here, but one thing I feel like they need to adapt to a little bit more, like the AFL, in terms of maybe not release the last 4 rounds, the draw for the last 4 rounds, and then see how the season pans out, come to a point, and then what's the name, and then sort of announce as you go. Because as I said, I would have liked to have seen this at a more appropriate slot. Because even, I'd like to watch this one. Very difficult 6 p.m. to watch this one on TV on a Friday night when you've got kids and whatever else. So yeah, disappointing time slot.
Now, Roosters versus the Rabbitohs. Now, some of these future games in the round are going to depend on actually some of the results, I think, that happened in the previous games. The Roosters, however, they win, they're in the 8. So, Latrell Mitchell's out.
Yep.
Do the Rabbitohs have a chance?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they will be pumped. This game almost means as much to South as it does to the Roosters.
I mean, I hope they win because I can't stand the Chooks.
Yeah, they would love nothing better. And there's been a bit of feeling between the two clubs over the last few weeks. They've been signing each other's juniors players. The Roosters have moved into the Rabbitohs territory by setting up an academy there. That's some of South's best young players. And then, of course, we have the Brandon Smith business which involves both clubs, which we're not going to talk about.
Well, I tell you what, if the Chooks lose, you can almost guarantee yourself the Dolphins will make it because they're playing the Raiders, and the Raiders aren't going to have about 6 to 8 players playing.
Yeah, but this is always a tough game. Like, I don't think the Rabbitohs have been. I mean, they've been quite good since that Broncos drubbing, the 60 to whatever, 14 or whatever it was. They've actually been quite good. They've got some players back. Cam Murray, has he Is he going to play Molly? Like I heard he is. Is
He's
he?
talking about playing, but if I was Wayne Bennett, I'd say don't play. Like he's been out injured all year. For the sake of one game, where he could re-injure himself, I think it's crazy. I think you sit out and make yourself 100% for next year. I just can't see the point of it.
And Sam Walker plays in this game too, won't he? He'll be back for this game. So, which is
Yeah.
with the Roosters last week, all the more impressive without him. Against the Storm. So, I said it a few weeks ago on the podcast. The Roosters are dangerous wherever they finish. They are very, very dangerous. Just like the Panthers, wherever they finish, are very dangerous. But I just think this one's, as Moley said, means a bit more to the Rabbitohs. AJ's, 3 away from the record, so...
I think Brandon Smith's going to play as well.
Yeah, he's playing.
Yeah, AJ, the record, so maybe we'll make it interesting, the Brandon Smith situation and the try-scoring record. I've heard today that the Rabbits and both the NRL have come out and said no one go on the field, no one run on the field, but apparently a group of Rabbitohs supporters have gone, about 1,000 of them have gone, you know what, stuff yous. You can't stop 1,000 of us if we jump the fence. So,
it's like a red rag to a bull, isn't it?
It could be all hell breaks loose if he breaks the record. And you know what? I think the Rabbitohs have got 3 tries in them against the Roosters, and it would not surprise me if he brings up a hattie in this game.
Yeah, the Roosters' edges are very strong. You know what would be ideal is to tie it in this game and beat it first game next year, so he gets 2 bites of the cherry.
So here's one for you, Molly. Does it count if he plays a preseason game and scores?
No, it's got to be a proper NRL game.
Okay, right. Yeah. Fair enough. No. So I've picked the Roosters. I think the Roosters are too good in this game.
Yeah, me too. South, they've been playing well, but they are riddled with injuries. There's about 10 blokes out, and it has been most of the year. And they've had a disappointing season, but there's reasons for that with all the injuries, the Lewis Dodd fiasco. There's a bit of a ray of sunshine there. They've got that Munro kid who could be anything. Jamie Humphrey's been a good signing. Tallis Duncan just keeps growing. They're not a bad side, South, so I can see him pushing for the 8 next year.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm going to look in the Roosters as well.
Yeah, Roosters too.
I'll be cheering the Rabbitohs very hard.
I think everyone, bar Roosters fans, will.
Now, Dragons versus Penrith. It's yet to be determined whether Penrith will rest their stars again. But even if they do rest their stars, do you think they'll still beat the Dragons?
Panthers. Yes. You reckon they'll beat them if they rest their stars?
Oh, depends how many. I mean, you wouldn't rest your players for 2 weeks, though, would you?
I don't think so. Surely not.
That's a bit too long. I mean, that's when you count the days, of the week leading up to the game and after the game. That's almost a month without any footy.
So then why rest them last week?
Well, you've got niggles and all this sort of thing. I can understand 1 game, but 2 games. But as we said,
it could be the Jerome Hughes situation too. Want to build a bit of momentum in going into finals. They've lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row, maybe now.
I honestly think again, it's high risk, 0 reward for the Panthers. Why would you play Nathan Cleary and Dylan Edwards and these guys? What I don't understand why you'd play them in this game.
Well, Edwards has been struggling for form. He perhaps wouldn't mind a good hit out where he plays well, and chance are if they beat the Dragons, he'll play well. Cleary's a different kettle of fish because he's definitely carrying injury, isn't he? He's he's not 100%, so maybe rest him. But most of the others who rested last week, I'd bring him back because it's too long without a game and it disrupts their schedule.
I would have to say that you'd think the Lindsay Smiths, the Liam Henrys, the Scott Sorensen, these type of guys, the Blaze Talangi, Casey McLean, Tom Jenkins, they would play. But in terms of if you talk about your big 4, Yo, Cleary, Edwards, Martin, well, I don't understand what the value is in playing them in this game,
I've
especially if
heard
you
Brian
rested them.
To'o's not playing.
Well, he's got about 8 injuries.
Yeah.
He's been injured since
But
Origin
I actually
3.
think he's the only player, aside from Azayo's shoulder, that's actually injured. I would argue that Penrith are the freshest they've ever been in the last 5 years, right now.
Oh, I think Cleary's groin is still a problem. Groins just don't heal.
He's been goal kicking for about 6
and
weeks.
he's had shoulder problems ongoing.
Groins just don't heal like with the click of the fingers. But no, you might be right. I don't know. I just don't see the. If you're going to play them this week, why did you rest them last? I don't understand that at all. I would have played them last week and rested them this week. I don't get that at all. And now you would have been in contention to the top 4. So that excuse is a bit of a cop out. So
Well, there's a plan in place, obviously, somewhere.
Well, there is a plan, and I'm interested to see what it is because I don't know if they're full strength, they'll beat the Dragons.
I'll laugh if they rest them again. I think that's hilarious.
Well, yeah. If they're full strength, they'll beat the Dragons. But what I will say is the Dragons are dangerous. Depends on what Dragons turn up.
Yeah, but more often than not, it's the bad Dragons, isn't
Correct.
it?
Correct.
They can. They're a bit like the Titans. There's potential there, but it doesn't show itself often enough.
They're just above the Knights.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but they were 1 win outside the top 8 about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. They're very much a team that likes to do Mad Monday early. So we'll see what. Honestly, I reckon if Penrith are under strength, they still win. I think. Well, I'm obviously biased in that, but
I'm tipping Penrith, so I agree.
Lock them in.
Yep.
Now
Penrith.
the next game's interesting. Titans versus Tigers. It's on the Gold Coast. The Titans have to win to avoid the spoon. Can they do it?
Yes, the Titans will win this, and I reckon we'll win this well.
Oh, I like it. Lock in the
I'm
Titans.
not so confident. I reckon the Tigers are an emerging team.
Go on, Marley. Go against us.
They're emerging a bit too late. That's their problem. They started the year pretty ordinarily, but the last 6-8 weeks, they've knocked over some pretty good teams or come close to knocking over some good teams. And, Buller is playing as well as any fullback in the league. Stafford Toa's going well for them. Whoever they put in at halfback seems to go well for them, whether it's Dewey or Fainu. And up front, Appy's doing the job. I think it's a really hard game. It's one of those ones where, it probably means more to the Titans than they're at home, so you'd tip them, but it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest of the
Well, the Tigers didn't disgrace themselves last week against Raiders playing for the minor premiership.
Yeah.
No, I agree with Molly. They're up and coming. I like the Tigers and what they've done this year, but I just think, the Titans, as sort of Molly said, if they win, there's potential they won't finish last. The Dizz factor, if they...
Kieran
Foran is another.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that until you just said that. But if they had any respect for the coach, they'd come out and put in a really good performance. Whether they win or lose is another thing, but at least a quality performance, which is why I'm just leaning towards them. I think that the Tigers might have just run their course this year and might be, I'll see you on the plane on Monday to Bali.
Yeah, playing your last game when you think about it on the Gold Coast too.
Yeah.
They've probably already made plans for Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're booked into the casino, mate, on Sunday night. I'm telling you, that's where they are.
Yeah.
Well, oh, geez. Yeah, I'm going to go the top. I'm sort of almost talking myself into the Tigers there.
No, rocks in your head.
I think I might leave that to the last minute to make that tip. But at the moment, Titans. Bulldogs versus the Sharks. Now, I think a lot of this is going to hinge on, obviously, team lists, but if the Broncos come out and beat the Storm, the Sharks can't make
Thinking
the
away
top
from this
four.
barking dog.
Yeah, no, that's all right. The Sharks can't make the top four if the Broncos win. However,
you're saying, can you name more than 23?
I
I've got someone at the door.
I don't think so. I would say that this could go either way, honestly. Even if they rest or have their starting, I don't see the Bulldogs playing full strength. Do you?
Well,
Surely.
well, the way they played last week, they were you know,
I mean, Kiraz got injured. Like, are they really going to risk that again?
you wouldn't be
what?
you wouldn't be playing like a
Because they can't come second, they can't come fourth, so they're locked in for third.
surely Matt Burton hyperextended the knee badly the other week. Surely you don't want to risk that, you know, like I don't know. Again, it's a high risk, zero reward sort of situation. They're going to finish third. We know that. They're going to be Melbourne. They're going to be in Melbourne. Yeah, they're going to be in Melbourne on
And I
week
don't
one
know,
of the finals.
like what you said, I don't think you can name, a full strength side and then find out you don't need to play and then you rest everyone.
Well,
I'm
this is what I mean. Like, can you name more than 23? Because as you said, if Brisbane beat, what's the point of the Sharks running out their team? Unless I think they've already locked in a home. Yeah, they've already locked in a home final, so they can finish.
Well, no, if the Warriors win.
No, but 5 and 6 get a home final.
Yeah, I think
Oh, of course.
I spoke to the Sharks today, and they seem to think they've got a home final.
Well, they do because
Well,
Penrith are 31
do,
on 7th. Yeah, so they can't catch them. So this is what I mean. Like, can you name more than 23?
I don't
And
think you
then-
can. I think you've got to name 23 and you've got to stick to it, as in,
We might see 2 New South Wales top teams playing this one.
But what I'm saying is that if Brisbane win and then the Sharks can't finish in the 4, do you then drop Nico Hines out? You know, Braden Trindle was injured last week too with the ankle, don't forget.
Yeah,
Well, I reckon if they're smart, they name backup players in key positions to give them a couple of options.
And for Neil Blake, you know, I heard that he was carrying something. You know, so and the Bulldogs again, high risk, zero reward for this game.
I think the Sharks win either way.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't think the Bulldogs are going that good anymore. I think they're in big trouble.
yeah.
I think they're a straight set see you later this year.
The Reed Marnie situation, the Galvin Sexton situation, it's mucked them up a bit. They're on tilt.
They kind of gone from, oh wow, these guys could win a comp to, geez, they've really stuffed it up.
They've self-destructed, mate, because they've made stupid decisions halfway through a season where they were coming first. Look at how the crowd reacted to Toby Sexton coming up on the big screen during the last game.
Yeah.
Now, what does that tell you? You know what I mean? So
I just can't get the Reed Marnie thing. I'm still baffled by it.
he literally leads you in 1%ers, Reed Marnie, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I noticed Cameron Smith, who knows a bit about hookers, came out the other day and said he would put Reed Marnie straight back in there.
100%. Yeah, so I mean, I'm with you. I'm gonna tip the Sharks too. Actually, I'm going to assume that both these teams play their team, their full strength, and I'll tip the Sharks. Although,
Let's be honest, no one loves the Doggies losing more than any other fan outside Doggies.
Well, that's right. Is Trindle going to get up for this, or is he out?
I'd say because he hurt
rested.
himself last week and couldn't finish the game.
But they've got Atkinson there.
True, they do have Atkinson. Yeah, right. So yeah, Sharks for me. Bit of an upset.
Yeah. I'll go Sharkies.
Now, Dolphins, Raiders, we've already alluded to the fact that the Raiders are going to be resting players. I'm going to say a couple of things on this game. The Dolphins should win, obviously, right? But winning culture teams, regardless of who's on the park, will show up. And don't be surprised if a second fiddle Raiders team give the Dolphins a run for their money.
Well, I don't think it's going to be like a ridiculously second fiddle Raiders team. Like, I don't think he will rest 16 players like Penrith did.
But he might. I mean, he can. There's nothing to be gained, and it's your
He'll
old.
probably rest
risk,
Ethan Strange. He'll definitely rest Fogarty.
KO Weeks will be rested.
KO Weeks, probably Starling, maybe not.
And a few of the forwards. Yeah,
Tarpany, Papali won't play.
Horsburgh might get a rest. He's had a long season.
Yep. Hudson Young will probably get a rest.
And just the other one with the Dolphins is just expect to see Herbie Farnworth either named to start or named on an extended bench. I reckon.
If the Chooks lose.
No, I still think he plays regardless.
You reckon?
Yep.
Would you risk him?
It's only a hamstring. Yeah, I would.
It's only a hamstring. But when's the Ashes? Because he doesn't want to injure himself for that.
Oh, he's not making the Ashes, mate.
He's only their best player.
Who cares?
No big deal. Yeah, look, watch this space.
The Dolphin, and I think is this their only
Geez,
game?
I hope the Chooks lose. It'll make it so much more interesting.
Is this their only game in Redcliffe this year that they've played in actual Redcliffe? The Dolphins.
I think it is. I don't think they've played at KO Stadium yet.
That's bizarre, isn't it? You'd think they'd use their home base more.
Yeah, so they'll pack it out. There'll be 1,000. What is it? Sunday Arvo. The Leagues Club will be rocking. So I'm tipping the Dolphins comfortably.
Mm.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins too. And I rate the Dolphins. I put them alongside Titans, Tigers. You know, they got strike power. They just don't show it often enough.
Well, they got one of the best attacking sides in the comp.
Yeah.
Maybe Blake Green needs to go to the Dolphins.
But again, I think the Dolphins, and we will, when we talk about them reviewed, I think they need to make a decision on the Trey Fuller Hammer situation. I don't think they can carry both because I think Hammer is a much better fullback than what he is a center, and he's a much
defensively. They're just so bad.
Yeah. So if you're the Perth Bears, be sniffing around Trey Fuller.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Good player.
Now the Eels versus the Knights.
Could you get a worse game to finish the regular season?
Well, if the Titans win, it will be quite good, probably, because then the Knights have to win to avoid the spoon.
No, the Knights aren't beating the Eels.
I'm in your lane, Dicko. I think the Eels will win this and win this well.
Yeah.
They'll want to finish the season on a high. They're already on a high as it is. They've had some great results. They could finish as high as 11th with a victory here and only 4 points outside the 8, which
considering where they started without Moses for 8 weeks.
Well, it begs the question, doesn't it? If he was in the team from the start of the season, would they be in finals right now?
I don't think so, but they would have been definitely pushing the top 8.
They would have been close.
Yeah.
Can we see an upset here, Moley, or are we just firm on the Eels?
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Eels.
Can the Knights score a point in the first half?
Adam O'Brien's last game in charge. No, I don't believe they can score a point. That'll be me. And
do you know what? Last week they actually came out and had a crack in the first half, to be fair.
Yeah, they did.
Against the Sharks.
They did.
10-0 up early.
Geez, they're bad.
Typical Knights, the shit hits the fan.
Eels fans have a lot to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, next year will be a good year for the Eels, for sure.
Lock them in. All right. Yep. Thanks, gents.
Thanks, mate.
Good episode. Good luck to all the teams on the weekend. Next week, finals time. Bring it on.
Bring it on.
Talk to you then.